Hello, everyone. Welcome to Proficy 2025, our annual product launch webinar series. My name is Michelle Rosinski, and I'll be your host today. On today's webinar, we'll be talking about how you can drive measurable performance improvements across your plant or enterprise using Proficy CSense. We'll explore how this powerful industrial analytics software helps optimize asset and process performance in manufacturing. You'll learn how CSense brings together 5 key capabilities: analysis, monitoring, prediction and forecasting, simulation, and optimization in one easy-to-use solution. We'll wrap up with a look at the product roadmap and what's coming next for Proficy CSense. The event today may include forward-looking statements. The information presented is intended to be an outline of general product direction, and it should not be relied on in making any purchasing decisions. Now for some housekeeping. You should all see an interface with some buttons at the bottom of your screen. They look like the ones on the right side of the slide here. Please send any questions you have through the orange chat button. Through the purple envelope button, you can contact our team. The blue paperclip button is our most important, as it's where you'll find relevant content and resources related to today's webinar. Through the peach person icon, you can connect with today's speaker, our analytics product manager for Proficy Software and Services, Cobus Van Heerden. If you need technical assistance, reach out through the yellow question mark button. Most issues can be solved by refreshing your browser, though. Last, please share your feedback. We have the pink checklist button where you can send us your challenges and initiatives. We're using this information to build our products collaboratively with your insight, so we really appreciate your feedback. And now I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Cobus Van Heerden. Cobus is a senior product manager of industrial AI software at GE Vernova. Cobus has 20+ years of experience in delivering industrial AI and analytics software across global markets. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cobus.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and good day. It's fantastic to be with you today to talk about Proficy CSense, to give you an update on Proficy CSense. Proficy CSense is one of our comprehensive Proficy suite of products that has been serving industrial customers globally for more than 25 years, helping industrial customers to operate and optimize their assets and manufacturing plants at enterprise scale, from cloud to on-premise to edge, helping them to also achieve their sustainability goals. Our Proficy software suite is comprehensive. It includes automation software, our SCADA software that helps industrial customers automate their industrial assets and processes, our manufacturing execution software that helps facilitate the operation of manufacturing plants, industrial data management through our Historian software that can collect and store and help customers manage industrial data at scale. And then the topic of today, production optimization, where our AI and analytics software like Proficy CSense helps customers to optimize, to really get the best performance out of their assets and manufacturing plants. And then also our scheduling software that assists industrial customers to optimize production planning, where CSense helps customers optimize production execution. Our scheduling software helps customers optimize production planning. So with that, we will be talking about Proficy CSense today, giving you an update, covering these 5 topics. A brief introduction: what is Proficy CSense? Why does it matter? We will also look at some recent customer stories, so you can see and hear some examples of how other customers are improving their manufacturing performance and the performance of their industrial assets. We will also cover some exciting news about new free starter runtimes and templates that we are making available that can help customers provide value faster to their plants and assets. Also, we will address the product roadmap and how you can get started as a customer. So what we are hearing from our customers is that all industrial manufacturers and industrial customers have a challenge with performance and process variability. How do I operate my process or my plant or my asset consistently optimal? And process variability is really the enemy of productivity and of optimal operations. And it can come from many places. It can come from aging equipment. It can come from variation in the quality of your raw materials or variation in inconsistent human operated decision making, or the environment in which your asset operates or your manufacturing plant operates. Maybe humidity or ambient temperatures vary. But variability in performance and process variability ultimately results in suboptimal productivity and can cause unplanned downtime and helps results in the fact that you will operate less efficiently. The second challenge that manufacturers tell us that they are increasingly facing is that in today's world, what you really need to optimize is really a increasingly multi-objective goal, meaning typically industrial customers want to operate or want to produce at maximum throughput at just good enough quality using minimum raw materials and energy usage, and also producing minimum environmental emissions. Now, that is indeed a complex balancing act and increasingly becoming a dynamic environment where manufacturers need to operate in. For example, energy prices may now vary by the hour, where in the past it may have varied by the month or by the day. Customers are switching raw material suppliers more often or making more products on the same equipment or lines and need to switch between different products. All of that makes it complex to ensure that you are always operating optimally and optimizing your profit or your cost function, which always is a multi-objective goal. And that is for that reason, optimization software has now become essential and not a luxury anymore. So what is Proficy CSense? It is industrial analytics software for process optimization in manufacturing plants that enables customers to easily and rapidly improve process variability and their operational goals like throughput, yield, recovery, quality, waste, emissions, or downtime significantly, often up to 10% or even more, rapidly. First insights often comes within within hours from analysis, but typical projects can take up to 3 months or so to deliver, but return on investment are often seen within months and definitely within a year. And how CSense does that is by helping customers optimize how they operate their asset or line or manufacturing plant. What process settings, what recipe settings, what control settings they are using minute to minute, hour to hour, to always operate in an optimal, most productive, most efficient fashion. CSense can do this either offline, just through analysis or through recommendations, or it can also do closed loop real-time control, autonomous control. It typically uses AI and machine learning and optimization algorithms to do this, and can be provided in a turnkey, assisted, or self-service fashion. It's also flexible in terms of deployment and can run on-premise or in the cloud. What makes CSense unique is that it is AI and machine learning enabled software that integrates and combines 5 key capabilities seamlessly into a single comprehensive software solution that can support a customer's whole journey from offline analysis to closed loop autonomous control and operations, all provided by a globally trusted vendor like GE Vernova, tightly integrated with the rest of the Proficy suite of products. And so these 5 capabilities include analysis, the ability to analyze your available data to give your engineers and personnel quick insights on, areas where improvement is needed and how improvement can be realized. Monitoring. CSense can be configured to monitor the health of sensors, control loops, and equipment in your process lines to really early detect any issues before it causes downtime or suboptimal production. Prediction and forecasting means that CSense is fully AI and machine learning and enabled, meaning that things you can't measure can be predicted using AI and machine learning models that can be trained on historical data. For example, quality is often a use case where quality can't be measured. Maybe you rely on lab samples. Well, with CSense, you can predict the quality, create real-time quality predictions, which enables real-time proactive quality control. Simulation means that with CSense, you can create process digital twin models, behavioral mathematical models of your process, which can be used for offline or online what-if simulations to support better decision-making. And lastly, optimization. CSense is fully advanced process control and real-time optimization enabled, meaning it can, close the loop and in real time, in closed loop, operate your assets or lines autonomously to help you, squeeze maximum performance, often up to 10% increase in productivity from your assets or lines. Also, the CSense advantage is that really, if you build on CSense as your productivity and your intelligence and analytics platform, if you develop an analytics solution once, it means you'll be able to deploy it anywhere, wherever it needs to run. For example, high-speed closed-loop autonomous control, you want to run on-premise, close to your control systems, close to the PLC or the DCS or the SCADA, whereas maybe slow, non-critical, monitoring solutions or cross plants, or maybe on an enterprise level, you may want to run in the cloud next to an enterprise historian. So what that means, if you choose CSense, you will never be stuck in a cul-de-sac where you are stuck in the cloud on a software platform that cannot deploy on premise for real-time use cases, or you are stuck on premise and you cannot serve your cloud use cases. What is in the box when you buy CSense? It consists out of 3 main components, namely troubleshooters, which are data analysis tools for engineers to rapidly analyze and answer questions from their historical data. You can access and prepare and format and analyze data from many sources and rapidly learn new things, gain new insights, and answer all your why questions. Why did this go wrong, or why is that not working, or how can I improve things? Then secondly, the architect is a visual drag and drop environment for engineers where process control, reliability, engineers and data scientists can collaboratively develop and test analytic solutions. And then the runtime, these analytic solutions can then be deployed to run permanently in the runtime, continuously producing valuable outputs like alerts or forecast or predictions or recommended optimal settings or set points on how to run the plant. And those can then be written back to your control systems for autonomous control or displayed to your operators on our standardized web UI of Proficy Operations Hub, which is also included when you invest and buy CSense. So how do you start with CSense? So typically the journey of making a start with CSense and the timeline to value can be as quick as hours, a number of hours from first insights through analyzing your data to a number of months. So typically CSense projects can be implemented in 3 to 6 months max, with return on investment within a year. But you would typically start by saying, what is it that you want to optimize? Do you want to optimize the throughput of an asset or a line or a plant, so how much you are producing, or quality or downtime or energy? So what is it that you want to improve? And make sure that the business case is solid. And the question there is, what is the value of a 1% improvement in that metric? Say it is throughput. What would be the value of a 1 to 10% improvement in your throughput? If the answer is millions per year, then that is a really good business case to go after. But if the answer is $10,000 a year, maybe that is not worth spending time on that specific use case. So really ask yourself, what is it that you want to improve? What is the value of a 1 to 10% improvement? Is the business case solid? If the answer is yes, then what is the deployment scope? Is it a single asset or a single production line or a whole plant? And then once that is known, we can help you decide which of the capabilities of CSense do we want to deploy or configure to really best address your specific need. After that, you would typically then decide or choose your deployment architecture. Do we need to deploy it in the cloud? So do you want to maybe monitor the health of all pumps across your enterprise? And it is located in a distributed fashion or across many plants, so it's best done in a cloud deployment? Or do you want to do high-speed closed-loop autonomous control of a line or a plant where that's best deployed on premise? Also, next, you would choose your license type. So we often offer term licensing or perpetual licensing. And also later this year, during the course of this year, we will also introduce and start to offer software as a service, so GE hosted CSense as a service. Then lastly, your service options. So we can implement CSense solutions for you turnkey through GE Vernova Professional Services, which is highly recommended for first implementations to minimize risk and to increase time to value. Also, or assisted, if you have some expertise internally and you just want a number of consulting days or hours for us to hold your hand and maybe your own people to learn on the job. Or self-service, which if you have a skilled team who knows CSense very well and you would just like the software and sort of the do-it-yourself approach. Lastly, we also offer optional solution maintenance and remote monitoring and optimization services, annual services as subscription services. CSense is not an experimental new product, but it is really a proven solution globally used across all industries that GE Vernova sells Proficy software to. and used by customers, getting significant benefit in improving their assets and plants using all of the capabilities of CSense. And on the slide, you can see some short stories or snippets of different kinds of customers unlocking significant benefits in using CSense to analyze, monitor, predict, simulate, or optimize their assets or processes. If you want to, know how much benefit you can expect, that what we are seeing globally is that typically CSense customers improve by up to 10%, sometimes even more, the metric that you are trying to. So whether it is throughput, whether it is energy usage, whether it is downtime. So typically in the range of somewhere up to between 1 and 10%. It may sometimes be more if a plant has not been optimized in a while, or there's significant room for optimization. And if you want to see some detailed customer stories, you can go visit our website. The link is shown there, and read more detailed stories of how customers are improving. So with that, we will spend a few moments looking at specific a few customers and how they benefit from CSense. So our first case story here is an example of the analysis capabilities, the first capability of CSense analysis, and that is a food and energy customer called BioOrigin, where their process engineers, their Six Sigma process engineers, we've provided them obviously with CSense and with some training. They were also supported locally by a GE partner in the region, but they were able to, within a few months, use the software themselves to use their historical data in Proficy Historian, combine it with their data, manufacturing contextual data in our MES software and plant applications, to really analyze and determine how to best operate their evaporator, and specifically how to, in the best possible and consistent way, start up their evaporator. In doing so, they were able to reduce variability in their setup and startup time of their evaporators by 8%, with significant and measurable savings year over year for them, which you can see here on the screen. And this is just one of many examples of how customers, their own engineers, were able to sort of become superheroes. So be enabled by CSense to rapidly and continuously improve their own processes, empowered by AI, machine learning, and analytics software. So moving on from that, if we now move to the second capability of CSense, which is monitoring, the ability to configure CSense to monitor various elements of your operations, whether it is sensor health or PID loops or assets and equipment health. Here's an example where one of our partners in South Africa, Arvino Digital, they have set up a remote monitoring center where they are monitoring more than 11 plants, or 11 plants for around 5 customers globally, spread globally. And they are providing optimization and monitoring as a service for those customers, and specifically focus around monitoring the health and the performance of their PID loops. And so it typically will be that they would have weekly, let's say, calls with all the different plants, and discussing what they are seeing, and how the processes are performing and how all the PID loops are performing. They're providing tuning services for the PID control loops remotely. And then also, if they identify bottleneck areas in the plant, they may help these customers implement advanced control or optimization, analytics to maximize production through those bottleneck areas. And so if you are a customer, if you are a partner who would like to offer similar services locally, then Arvino is very willing to help other GE partners learn how to do the same. If you are a customer and you would be interested, contact your local partner, or if you want, contact Harvino directly. You can see Johan Rademan's contact detail. He is the CEO of Harvino. Harvino is also willing to provide these services to GE customers globally running on Proficy CSense. So one of the examples of applying, of monitoring and optimizing PID control loops with CSense is significant. Here is an example of a gold producer, a gold mining customer that where again, we have just optimized, we have monitored all the control loops, identified the top 20 worst performing control loops in the plant, have just tuned 20 control loops, the worst performing control loops, and it resulted in significant improvements. You can see here nearly $1 million a year worth of increased production, 1.5% increased recovery, and significant stabilization in operations. So you can see here, just monitoring and optimizing PID control loops can have rapid and significant benefits for industrial plants. If we move on to an example of the predict capabilities from CSense, here is a zinc producing customer which, and this is often the case, which needed to have a real-time measurement or a real-time estimation or prediction of the zinc concentration at the end of their leaching circuit. But they didn't have that. They had essentially an online analyzer instrument that was attempting to measure it, but it was very, very unreliable. Or alternatively, they were taking lab samples. Now, this is often the case that in manufacturing plants, there are certain quality measurements that for which sensors, real-time sensors doesn't exist. You don't have a real-time sensor, so you typically operate your plant by taking lab samples, having them analyzed in the lab. But the problem is you can only take so many samples, so a few infrequent samples, and you have to wait for the results, which are often delayed. So in the meantime, you may be making bad quality product. So in this case, what we can do is we can use historical data of your lab quality samples and other measurements to use a machine learning, AI machine learning model to predict, to give a real-time prediction or estimate of the quality in real time, second to second, minute to minute, which then enables you to do real-time quality control. And this, you can see on the bottom right-hand side, you can see how accurate that model prediction was compared to the lab samples. And that enables real-time quality control. And that is something that can easily be done if that is the type of challenge you are facing. Optimize. So this is an example of where, again, one of our partners really helped a zinc production plant in India to completely optimize the plant. And if you think about that, essentially for a plant, for a manufacturing plant to operate optimally, really you have to have your sensors must be healthy, your PID control loops must work well and be stable, be healthy, your equipment must be healthy, and then you must be using the optimal recipe settings or control set points for every given moment in time on the plant. So over a journey of 4 to 5 years, this partner has used CSense to work with this customer, went in, made sure that the various layers of their operations were healthy, tuned all their PID loops, started monitoring their operations remotely for them, identified bottlenecks, implemented advanced process control, specifically on bottleneck areas like grinding and flotation, to maximize recovery and throughput through those areas of the plant. And you can see here a 3, 4 to 5 year journey, they were able to 400%. Now just pause and think about that. 400% increase the metals recovery from when they started in that plant. That is massive. the value of that is massive for a customer like that. Now that shows the potential of optimization, and optimization as a service. Often, sometimes customers say, you know what, I'm good at running my business. I'm good at making zinc, but I don't have the skilled people to help me squeeze 10% productivity more out of my plant or my asset. Well, with CSense, we can do that. As Vernova, we can help you do that as a service at turnkey projects. We have partners that deliver these sort of optimization as service also. And this is the potential of what CSense can do when it monitors and in this case also autonomously control and optimize in closed loop your plant for you. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about some fantastic news, and that to help you unlock those benefits quicker, we have decided to start shipping a very limited, what we call CSense starter runtime licenses, which are a free limited starter runtime license for CSense with all of our SCADAs. So if you are a iFix or Simplicity Vernova Proficy customer, and you can access these licenses or get a free CSense SCADA starter runtime license by either investing in or buying one of our SCADA products, iFix or Simplicity, the latest version, 2024 or later, or version 2025. Or if you already have one of our SCADAs and you have a support plan, you can upgrade. You can also get these free runtimes, analytic runtimes, if you upgrade to the latest versions of our SCADAs. What these licenses enable you to do is to do free and quick proof of concepts to make a start with analytics. So it's a very limited free runtime. It's essentially a one-tag runtime. You are with it entitled to deploy only one analytic that produces one output, for example, one alert or one prediction or one optimal set point. But we are not giving it as a blank sheet. We also are making available out-of-the-box templates for high-value use cases. You can see some of the templates here, including alarm pattern monitoring, sensor health monitoring, PID control loop monitoring, AI machine learning, predictive model, and model predictive control, which can help you and make a real quick start with analytics to start to optimize your assets and plants. With this runtime, you are able to implement or allowed to or licensed to implement only one instance of each of these templates in a limited way. If you want to implement more or implement the templates at the larger scale, or do more, deploy more analytics, then just upgrade and buy a paid CSense runtime license. We are doing exactly the same for our Historian, but in the case of Proficy Historian customers, we are only for Proficy Historian customers that are investing in a Proficy Historian latest version, so 2024, or I know just 2025 has just released, 2024 or later, term or cloud subscription licenses. Only for those term or cloud subscription license customers, we are making also a free CSense Historian starter runtime matching term license available. Again, it's similar to the SCADA one. It is a one-tag limited license with which you are entitled to deploy a single analytic or one instance of each of these templates that we make available with that license. And where can you find these templates? Well, if you receive one of these free CSense starter runtime licenses, then you can go, and you are a GE customer or partner, you can go to our standard customer center support website and just type in the search box CSense starter runtime licenses, and then you will find it there. It is distributed as articles with the templates are attached as zip files to articles. Just make sure that you download the latest version. So if you have a Historian Starter Runtime license, then look for the latest Historian Starter Runtime license templates and download the latest version. Okay, now let's just look at these templates briefly. So again, if we look at the analysis capabilities of CSense, we are shipping a tag correlations template with the Historian Starter Runtime license of CSense, which enables you to really deploy an analytic that will correlate a select number of tags in your historian with one another, essentially to help you uncover hidden relationships or top correlations among historian tags. So it's very simple. You open the analytic, you configure one or two blocks, you deploy it, and it will calculate the top correlations among all the tags you've selected, or the top correlations with a specific selected tag. Write that back to your historian, and you can visualize those correlations easily in, for example, the Proficy Operations Hub Historian Analysis application as just another historian tag. Secondly, alarm pattern recognition. This is again a template that can help our SCADA customers that produce a lot of alarms to identify recurring alarm patterns and sequences, and really identify the root cause of alarm bursts and sequences online. It is an analytic and OPSUP app that you configure. It analyzes all the historical alarms or the alarms generated by iFix or Simplicity, either by connecting directly to their SQL databases, or if you store the alarms in Proficy Historian A&E database, then you can also connect to it there. So another monitoring capability template that we are making available is Sensor Health, the Sensor Health template that really enables customers to open a simple app and see in a glance all sensors that may have issues, that may have data quality issues. So it helps you ensure and improve data quality by monitoring the health of your critical sensors. So you can configure CSense to learn normal or good behavior of the sensors from historical data, and then continuously monitor the sensors which you configure there to detect things like bad quality data, flatlining, out of limits, consistent zeros, rate of change behavior or inactivity behavior. Also, another monitoring template is our PID control loop performance monitoring template. This, I have already touched on some of the benefits of PID control loop performance monitoring and tuning with CSense. It is massive. By just tuning the top 10 to 20 worst performing loops in your plant and consistently monitoring all loops in your plant, you can literally increase productivity often by up to 5%, which is so significant. With this template, you are, with a free runtime, allowed to monitor a single loop, and the tuning capabilities are not included. If you want the tuning capabilities or monitor more loops, then just upgrade to a paid CSense runtime. Also, if you move on to predict, there is a AI machine learning model template which enables you very simply by configuring a few blocks to train one machine learning model that can predict one output, for example, quality, like we discussed the quality examples before, in a few clicks, and then deploy that to the free runtime. And that can be delivering real value. You can be predicting one quality variable in real time that may be enabling you to do real-time quality control. Forecasting, that's another template for in the predict capability section, where often it may be that you want to forecast ahead of time what will the behavior be of a specific tag or KPI. For example, in a wastewater plant, you may want to know what your inflow is going to be that the plant will have to treat over the next 24 hours. Well, with this template, you can train a forecasting model based on historical flow patterns to, for example, predict that or forecast that flow pattern. Write it back to historian and have a forecast, whether it is up to 24 hours ahead hourly. Model predictive control. So this is an example of the optimization capabilities of CSense. So our model predictive control template is distributed with our SCADA starter runtime. Model predictive control is a highly valuable template where we are for free allowing with a free runtime the deployment of one 2x2 controller. It is the most popular APC technique beyond the simple PID loop, and can often help you unlock increased performance like throughput by up to 10% through bottleneck areas in your plant. Okay, so with that being the number of templates that we are making available in the free runtimes, let's look forward a little bit to the roadmap ahead. Whereas the templates I've just mentioned is already available with the free runtimes downloadable from our support site, we are also in the next quarter going to release four new templates, namely centerlining, which will enable customers to really optimize their quality very quickly. Asset anomaly detection, which will help you detect any issues with equipment in real time. Automatic event root cause analysis, which will help your operators automatically identify the root cause of alarms and events. And KPI forecasting, which is just an improved version of forecasting, which will be multivariate and be able to forecast the future behavior of any KPI. So be on the lookout. So we have now a data science team that are creating these templates, and you can see we are creating continuously new templates of high valuable use cases that is plug and play to help you get faster value with CSense. Okay, then on a product roadmap perspective, what you can expect in this in this here is that we are not going to have a CSense 2025 release. So the latest release of CSense is 2024. What we are planning to do, though, is in this Q3, in the next quarter or so, make a SaaS version, so a GE-hosted software as a service version of CSense available in AWS. So if you want GE to host CSense for you and you don't want to think about IT infrastructure, then you will be able to subscribe to CSense as GE hosted, but that will only be available with our also SaaS historian, Proficy historian, so CSense plus historian plus OpsUp, for example, as a SaaS solution, or CSense as an add-on to our smart factory. So you will have to subscribe to our smart factory solution, but you'll also be able to add CSense to that, or to our historian and OpsUp, and you're able to add analytics engine CSense to that subscription. Then our next major release will be in collaboration with other Proficy products, typically in Q1 next year, where we are looking to release the next big version, which will be CSense 2026. There we will be looking to release both a on-prem classic, new version of CSense 2026, where we will do the top customer improvements, requested improvements to CSense, but also a CSense 2026 SaaS release version, again, where that latest 2026 version of CSense will be available GE-hosted SaaS, but in conjunction with Proficy historian or as an add-on to Proficy Smart Factory. So you'll have to also have Smart Factory as SaaS or Proficy historian as SaaS. Then you'll be able to also have CSense as SaaS. But let's just finish by saying, so what is the vision? Where are we going with CSense? The vision with CSense, specifically with CSense 2026, is really to have a comprehensive enterprise scale AI and analytics, industrial AI and analytics solution that is the only product that is tightly integrated with a Proficy portfolio that will allow asset model-based deployment and orchestration of analytics on enterprise scale with central management from Configuration Hub. It will provide Python for industry, so it will have Python fully embedded, enabling you to deploy AI models and Python algorithms securely at scale, whether it's at the cloud or on-premise or edge. It will offer complete future-proofness, and in the sense that the 5 capabilities will allow you to pick and choose which capabilities you need, but you'll know that with this solution from Vernova, you will be able to journey all the way to autonomous closed-loop real-time operations. And again, when you build on this platform, you will never be stuck. It will support your whole journey, because the analytics you build, the models you create, will be able to run in the cloud, will be able to run on premise, it will be able to run on the edge. And so you will be safe as you journey to possible closed loop autonomous operations. So with CSense, you'll be able to develop, analytics, publish it to a central library, have a cloud-based config hub runtime manager with which you can deploy and manage remotely centrally to a network of either cloud or on-prem runtimes, and all of this tightly integrated with the rest of the Proficy portfolio. So how can you get started with CSense? If you are a customer and you would like to get started, the short answer is contact your local CSense sales or GE Vernova sales representative or partner. So in your region, you will have a GE Vernova sales representative or a local partner. Reach out to them. They will be able to guide you on how to get started with CSense.